Welcome to Godzilla Reviewthon! What is up, YouTubers of the world? Mega Geek Mixer here. It is a New Year's Eve. That means we are just less than 24 hours away from the new year. And I decided this is the perfect time to start my very own movie franchise review. And I decided what better way to start off than with Godzilla, King of the Monsters! Because we are now on the road to summer 2019, where his next movie will premiere, where we are going to get both him, King Ghidorah, Mothra, and Rodan. So I am doing a review of all the previous Godzilla films, and what better way to start off than with the original Godzilla himself, Gojira! The movie that started it all for the franchise of this very popular icon. And who was the one that made this guy? Well, the forefathers are Ishiro Oda, the director, Tanaka Tomoyuki, the producer, and Eiji Tsuburaya, I believe I said that name right, the special effects expert in the miniatures and suitimations. Basically, the suit for Godzilla. And just so you know, for this very suit, for this very movie, that weighed over 200 pounds. And I feel envious for the suit actor, Aruru Nakajima. I already actually passed out a few times in that movie, so props to you, man. But I'm still envious that you got to be in all those suits. But hey, they're gays in this movie. This was all about showing Godzilla as a metaphor of nuclear radiation back when the atom bomb went off. Back in 1944, I believe it was, or so. Or no, no, not in 1944. Or wait, yeah, in 1944. And basically when Gojira was made, it was back in 1954. So it was nearly a decade after the atom bomb that they made this movie, and they made it to show Godzilla as a metaphor for what that incident did all those years ago. And man, did it deliver, because this original film, and before I go on, I recommend you get the original Japanese masterpiece. Do not get the English version, because that's just a narrative of all the things with Godzilla. This really gives out the message of what they were trying to send, and that Godzilla being the form of nuclear radiation and all the destruction it caused all those years ago. But what made this movie so great was how they introduced it. They introduced it by having Godzilla not appear at all at first. It was just showing a mysterious figure kept attacking these ships. And it started off by attacking this one ship, which was an inspiration to that real-life incident of a boat called the Lucky Dragon 5, which was near the vicinity when the atom bomb went off and killed those fishermen all those years ago. That is basically what that first scene was about. And then they went on to making it more mysterious by having to send more and more ships out there, and Godzilla would just continue to annihilate them until we were introduced to the scene of Odan Island, which is where people were getting clues as to who would attack them. It was from an old man thinking that it was Godzilla. And then back in the old days, they would sacrifice women to him so he wouldn't attack. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case this time, because even then, he rose up and attacked Oda Island, and in the process killed some people. Some people even saw him before he caused that destruction. And if you could just see some of the images of the horror they were showing of it, man, it shows you how dark this movie was. Because right after that incident, there went that investigation team that went to investigate everything. They investigated some of Godzilla's footprints and everything, but it didn't take them long to finally see Godzilla, see the horror of what was brought upon them. And man, it was even more crazy knowing that right after attacking Odan Island, he makes it to the main island of Japan, where he is just causing some major destruction. He just left a sea of fire everywhere. And it is not only that, but some of the camera angles that were showing him, you can't deny that they look terrifying, showing how menacing this guy was, Godzilla, a nuclear radiation of destruction. Also, when they finally discovered who he was, they gave a little history on him and saying like he's a cross between a Tyrannosaurus Rex and a Stegosaur. And if you guys don't know where his name comes from Gojira, combination of a whale and and I mean, not a dinosaur, a gorilla. My bad, my bad. But they got that from some tough guy who was on the set, who was around helping with that movie. And all I gotta say is, dude, that dude's got everybody's honor. I mean, his name now a famous icon's name. Who can blame him? But straight back onto the movie. When he was causing all that destruction, seeing all that sea of fire, and then the aftermath of the destruction, just that was like always all sending the message of how horrible all that all of what the nuclear effects did to all those people years ago. And the atom bomb, which happened back in it was located in Oshima and Nagasaki. It was like showing a results, like some of these people who were in the hospital, like barely alive or dying, man, you could feel the tension right in there. But this is now also where I'm gonna bring into how Godzilla was defeated. It goes kind of connected into the subplot of what the movie is, and that is about the three main characters. You have the female, Emigo Yamane, and then you got Ogata, her fiance, and then Dr. Sarazawa, her betrothed. And here's the thing, while she didn't exactly love Dr. Sarazawa and the way she loved Ogata, she still loved him like an older brother. Like, she still had great respect for him, and even still, it was tough for her in a way to be bringing down their engagement and everything. Now, that's not to say we never really got to if Dr. Sarasawa really cared about her in the same way either, because this was all about learning about the weapon that was used to defeat Godzilla at the end of the film. And that would be the oxygen destroyer, which was created by Dr. Sarazawa. He made Emiko at first promise not to tell anyone, but after the destruction, she couldn't hold it in. She told Ogata. They went to see him, and at first he refused, and Ogata and him got into a little scuffle on using the nuclear weapon until Ogata got hurt. But this is where it gets into a very heartfelt scene from both guys who make both very good points. Now, Dr. Sarazawa, he didn't want to use the weapon at all because of all the nuclear bombs that happened in the war and the fact that his weapon could fall into the wrong hands. And Nagata understood that, but he also countered how could they don't defend themselves now from the horror that's set upon them. And there's the thing, Sarazawa also agreed, but he still was hesitant because the fact that even if he used it, people would know he could invent it, and that would lead him to making it again. And Dr. Sarazawa is a good man. He wants nothing but peace. He wants his work to be used for good, never for evil in any way possible, which is what made him very conflicted. It only changed his mind when he saw this very heartfelt scene of people praying, and like some of these children in a church were asking for another tomorrow after the disaster Godzilla caused. And that is when he changed his mind, but at the same time, he still kept it in his head that if people knew of the great power that oxygen destroyer could do, with the fact in killing a nuclear radiated monster, then he knew he had to sacrifice his life. And that's exactly what he did. This film, Gojira, it really sent out a message of the horrors of what nuclear bombs could do to innocent people. Even if that was not their intention, it was still a very powerful mass destructive weapon that was used and hurted innocent people. And that is exactly why they made Godzilla for that very first specific reason. But still, I recommend you get this because not only does it send out that good message, it just shows how awesome this was for a monster movie, guys. This is the very first movie you guys need to see. If you guys have not been seeing the Godzilla franchise and only learned about them through the 2014 movie, you must start off with this to learn where it all came from. That is my first entry review for my Godzilla Reviewthon. And if you guys are enjoying my videos, all you gotta do is click that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified of when I make more videos, because I will be making more Godzilla videos once or twice a week as we lead into the road to Godzilla, King of the Monsters! Until then, I am Mega Geek Mixer, and I will see you all again later. Bye!